Hi everyone, welcome back. We are talking about mega hype here. So I was super duper lucky to nab myself one of these Chloe Morello Ciate hauls. The first release I missed out by a matter of hours, so I logged on and had a look in the morning and it was there, and then during my lunch break I logged on and I went to buy it and it was actually sold out. And then a couple of weeks ago, Mecca announced that they were going to restock just a limited number of palettes. Once they were gone, and they were going to release them at 7 AM. I actually logged on at 6:30. I woke up extra early so that I could have a look, and at about 6:40 they were there, so I nabbed myself one. So I've had it for a couple of weeks and I love it, and I've been using it and it's just a gorgeous set. But I wasn't going to review it for you, number one because it was no longer available in Australia, and I thought, well, people aren't going to be buying it unless they order from overseas, and that's a very limited number of people. And then secondly, I just thought it was not fair. Why should I come on and boast all about how I've got this beautiful package here? I know that Mecca did send quite a few of these out to bloggers, so you will see these coming up on social media. I know personally for myself, when I look at these reviews, or I look at tutorials and I know I just can't get my hands on something, it just drives me crazy, so I wasn't going to review. But as of this morning, there was a little bit of talk on social media, and I guess Chloe must have been a little bit upset about the fact that these were such a limited release. It's a little ridiculous that even though Ciate is an English company, it's a little ridiculous that Chloe, as an Australian, hasn't been able to get this out to all of her fans in Australia. So Mecca, I think, are trying to get their hands on some more of these. So I will try and time this video to come up when they're restocking. But yeah, so let's go through what comes in the pack, my thoughts on the different elements of the pack, and so on. So the whole pack in its entirety is called the Ciate London and Chloe Morello Beauty Haul. So it's not just a palette. Now Ciate is a London-based company, and if you're familiar with their products, their most, I guess, popular products here in Australia are their little paint pots, so their little nail polishes. And so I've got a couple of those. They're quite lovely products. I also have a couple of their lip velvet lipsticks, which is what comes in this pack as well, and they're nice too. They're a matte lipstick, liquid lipstick. They don't dry down to 100% dry, let's say like a Colourpop Ultra Matte, but they're more like, if I was going to compare them to something, they're a little bit like the Tarte's lip paints. So the entire pack is $70, which seems quite hefty. However, when you see all the bits and pieces, you'll see, and I think you'll agree that it is actually worth the price. So the entire pack obviously comes in that box, and it's packaged up really nicely. I'm really lucky I kept the boxes. I wasn't going to because I wasn't going to review it, but I did keep it. So it comes in that, and then inside you get a lovely leather look little clutch here with rose gold hardware detailing, a little tassels, quite pretty. It's in a navy blue with the rose gold embossed name there and some stars, and that's kind of like the whole kind of theme for this palette. So in the pack you get an information sheet that has all the ingredients and all the different products. You get a lovely little postcard with Chloe's face on it. Now I don't know about yours, but mine was personally, it was personalised to me. Dear Rosa, you just have the best channel ever. Hopefully we can hang out sometime. Love, your best friend Chloe. You get a mini or deluxe kind of sample of mascara, a mini of the liquid velvet. So the main item in the beauty haul is this palette. It is the Pretty Fun and Fearless palette, and it's just a lovely looking palette. The packaging is really pretty. I like the colors. There are 15 eyeshadows in here. There are some matte ones. There are some shimmers. Let's open this up. It does have a magnetic closure, so it's not going to open if you do put it in a bag. There is a lovely mirror, and then here are the gorgeous shadows. So this is definitely like a warm neutral palette. There are some gorgeous shades in here. Today on my eyes, I've basically used this kind of area here. I've used My Tribe on all over the lid. Unconditional is my transition shade. On Fire I used in my crease as well. Queen Bee was just in the outer corner, and then I used Vacay on the inner portion of my eyelid. So part of the reason why I picked this up is because it just did look like a lovely palette, and I did think there was going to be more of a run, so I was hoping I'd be able to review it for you. But after getting my hands on the sculpting palette that Chloe did with Revlon, I kind of feel like I'm going to buy anything that Chloe puts her name on, because she seems to really be into making sure quality comes first. There are so many YouTubers out there and influencers out there that will slap their name on anything that comes along, anyone that's going to, pay them. No, I swear, no shade. She definitely wants to put her name on some beautiful product. So there are lots and lots of matte shades there for you to play with, and then there are 6 shimmers. Now the shimmers aren't the most shimmery that you'll ever find. Someone said to me that, actually it was Katina Linda. If you don't follow Katina, I'll leave her details down below. But when she was talking to me about this palette, she was saying that it really reminded her of the Lorac palettes in terms of texture. I agree to some extent. I think the mattes are exceptional in this palette. I think they blend out so well. They're a dream. You know, I put them on, I'm not a makeup artist. I found these were just a dream to work with. So the mattes are impeccably smooth. The shimmers, on the other hand, aren't quite as smooth. You do need to dig your brush in there to get some real color out, but I found that once I used them wet, they were beautiful. So I think the key to this really is to use them wet, or as I did, to use your finger to pack it on and then maybe go over with a wet brush. But having said that, there are some gorgeous shades there for you. I feel like out of all these shades, the only ones that maybe I won't get as much use out of are probably, I think it's actually only going to be that one really, and that's because I tend to stay away from darker shimmers, but everything else is so wearable. I also see that there are so many shades that are quite similar. So for example, that mauvey shade there looks quite familiar. A lot of these transition shades also look familiar, but it is a palette on its own. It is its own palette, and I think definitely the inclusion of these colors here, particularly this beautiful fierce shade, really sets it apart from anything else. Other people have compared it to the Anastasia Beverly Hills Renaissance palette. I don't really see it being the same thing. Again, there are some similarities, but you have to understand there's only so many neutral shades in the world, so you know, they're going to be put together different ways, but there are going to be similarities between different palettes. So these to touch, these mattes are so soft. They really feel like velvet when you touch them. When you do use them on the eyes though, I have found there is quite a lot of fallout, so I have learnt to do my eyes with this first. And I find that mostly with, so for example, when I was using On Fire today, when I was blending it in quite vigorously, I got a lot of that shade in here. So I tend to use this after I do my makeup, unless I'm just going to use the really light shades. In terms of who this is great for, I think it's definitely fantastic for people with lighter skin tones. I think it's great for people with medium skin tones, and I feel like people with darker skin tones are also going to get a lot out of this. I think these 2 shimmer shades here on darker skin tones would be glorious. To get a really great view of these, I'll actually cut in and swatch these for you close up. So going in with my fingers on these shimmers, you'll see that they do have lots of pigmentation. There's definitely no issue with pigmentation there. There's just a little bit more of an issue picking up some of the actual pigment with my brush. I just feel like they go on best with your fingers and then blend it in. The brush does pick some up, but it's not going to get the same sort of impact that you get with your fingers if you're after that really bright. When I use them with a brush, they give a really beautiful soft wash of shimmer rather than high impact shimmer like that. So if that's what you're after, then these are perfect. So here she is. I'll go across, and there is no primer on my arm. However, you'll see some glittery bits and pieces there. They're not from this palette, they're from some previous swatches that I did earlier today. So moving on from the palette, which is a winner in my book. So next is the Wonder Wand Mascara, and it has a really nice wand. It's very similar to the Better Than Sex wand. And it's just a really nice mascara. It doesn't provide a lot of length, but it does not separate the lashes quite nicely. And then just to show you that this is a mini size, this is what the full size lip velvets look like. So it's probably about half the size. It's a really nice universal colour in a pretty kind of mauvey shade. If you have very light skin, then this might be a little dark for you as an everyday, but those of you particularly in the Northern Hemisphere who are in autumn or fall, going into winter, this is a really beautiful shade. And if you have darker skin, then this will be a really nice shade on you as well. So that's that shade there. It's a little darker than a rosy. It's not quite a nude unless you have quite dark skin, but it's just a lovely, it's a lovely mauve heading towards towards burgundy. So again, do I think the palette and the haul in its entirety is worth the money? Definitely. I think if you can get your hands on this, this is a beautiful palette. I think it's a lovely one to travel with because it just tends to have everything in it that you need to create a whole bunch of eye looks. And the quality of the palette is just really, really high. On a side note, it's also just really nice to support YouTubers and other people out there who are working so hard. So that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed this and I hope it was a little bit helpful in whether or not you want to purchase this product. As usual, thank you so much for watching and coming and spending a little bit of time with me. I will see you next time. Bye.